just to see how it goes. All right, folks. This is OAC Impromptu Podcast number 10. I am here with fellow pro staff from G-Force Outdoor Products, Morgan Gamble. He's a friend of mine that the reason for this podcast and the reason that me and Morgan are trying to get this 15-minute, crazy podcast in, because it sounds like his hunt was just as crazy, and there's a reason behind it. Both Morgan and myself are G-Force Evolved Camo, call us extraordinaires. We love the camo, but also Morgan is a first-time, new seasoned Ultimate Predator Stalker Decoy hunter who happens to be a sponsor of the podcast and the OAC competition. So Morgan, before I go to the mic, the stage is yours. I just want to say that Morgan is going to fill us in on this amazing hunt. I'll post pictures to the post when we put it up of this amazing deer, and I can't wait to hear it. I haven't even heard all of the details myself, but I could tell just by the sound in his typing on Facebook Messenger that it's going to be a good one. Morgan, so what happened? What's going on?
Just a quick little recap. Actually, last year before, 2 days before season, I saw the Ultimate Predator Decoy, and I ordered it, and I had it shipped to the house that I'm staying at, where I'm hunting, and it showed up the day after I shot my cow last year. It was actually sitting at the post office, but I couldn't pick it up, so I wasn't able to use it for myself, but we did use it a little bit for a friend. Just no success. But this year, I'm going to tell you this story, and for anybody who wants to call BS on it, I support you 100%. If I heard this story myself, I would call BS. Luckily, I have two witnesses that were out in the field with me, my hunting partners, Dave and Aaron, and one of the landowner's wives was up at the house watching it also. So we move in on this area that we're going to hunt, and it was just crazy because we come up on this bridge and we look, and there's elk bedded 150, 200 yards away in an area that we didn't think they were going to be in, some tall grass. And so we pull back just a little bit and start talking about how we're going to try and get them to come towards us, where they were going to meet the other herds for the bulls. Are just starting to get warmed up around here. I mean, I can't even say they're hot. It was 88 degrees today, so they're not really bugling and talking much, but trying to fit this into the 15 minutes here, I ended up sneaking down this canal bank, moving in on them, and we did a little bit of cow calling at them, and we had some beef cows move in, which, as much as I love beef, I love elk better, and so I guess my biggest reason behind that is because beef screw up a lot of good hunts. And, yeah, so I move in on these elk, and they end up coming across this canal right out in front of me, and I've got my, my Ultimate Predator elk decoy mounted to my Athens bow there, and I'm just walking up this grass bank, and they're running out, and they just look at me, and they have, no care in the world. So there's more coming out, and I know this 6-point bull is going to cross, and he's going to be the very last one. And normally when a bull crosses, they come out of the tall grass and they slumber out there just a little bit. And I'm like, man, if I'm within 30 yards of this guy, I'm just going to smoke him. It's going to be great. So this whole herd just balls out of this grass just crazy fast. It gets out there about 120 yards, the bull included, and stands there. And so I cow called a few times with just a mouth read. And they all stopped and started looking at me, and it was no big deal. And they just kind of went into relax mode. They knew something wasn't quite right. I mean, they could see the dang pickup, 300-400 yards away. My buddy was still, calling back behind me a little bit, but their attention was on me, but they weren't really worried. And I thought, I've heard of this thing, and I've kind of preached about it because I've seen it, before I started archery hunting about 10 years ago. I call it herd mentality, where if a herd of elk starts running, run with them. And they will stop because they have herd mentality, and they will look at you. So I'm like, I'm going to try this. I got this amazing decoy. I'm just going to run with it. And so the elk kind of start trotting off, and I start running with them and cow calling. I actually have a video of the phone in my pocket it's, you can hear me, you can see it running and shaking, and and you hear the cow calling, and all of a sudden it stops, and then I run again, and I probably stopped and started running, I don't know, 15 to 20 times over the course of 3/4 of a mile. And I mean, I'm getting right in close to these elk, just not able to get a shot, on this bull that I want. I mean, I had some options at some cows. I just didn't, I really wanted this bull. When you guys see the pictures, he's very unique. Going to taste amazing. Let's just put it that way. And time again, they're letting me get right up to that 50-yard mark, or not 50, 80-yard mark, 100-yard mark, but I just can't quite get close enough. And I've been practicing, 95 yards, but I'm a big fan of, practicing twice the distance you would comfortably make a shot.
Right.
So at about 15 times of starting and stopping, I would say, I finally got a shot of this bull at broadside at 60 yards. And I was perfectly comfortable. I drew back. They were looking at me. I chirped right before I drew, and I shot, and the arrow flies. Flight looks perfect. I hear that smack. And, he turns, and the arrow's sticking out of him. I didn't get great penetration, but I looked with my binoculars instantly, and I could see blood coming down the inside of his leg. And I'm like, awesome. Well, afterwards, I found out I broke his leg. Also, I hit him right and level with the heart, but just like 2 inches to the right. So, he was standing broadside right and, hit the leg bone. But, that Black Eagle Rampage with the stainless steel half-out and 100-grain quad Exodus broadhead, it broke the bone. He stumbled, kind of did some walking around. He did not like it. He was not happy. He was bleeding. So I was pretty happy with the results. But where we're at, we're surrounded by a lot of refuge and other private property. And we decided, I need to get on him again and get another shot in. And it was just one of those things. I kept going with them. Every time they would take off running, I would take off running with them. And so it just happened again. He stopped, right in a bunch of cows, 50, 60 yards. And I didn't want to take the shot because it's like if I miss him by some chance, I've been running for a half mile now. I don't want to wound another animal. So it got to a point where I was waiting for him to stand off on his own and, so I could get a shot. Well, he ended up doing that at 95 yards. And I told myself, you've been practicing for this. Make it happen. And I went through the process I used for, my controlled shot process I got from Joel Turner on Iron Mine Hunting. And I laid that shot out there, 95 yards, smacked in the exact same spot on his left side, broke his leg again, and now blood, is just gushing out. And I'm like, he's going down. There is no questions in my mind about this. And my hunting partner says you couldn't have saddled him up and laid the spurs in him and had him running any faster for about 100, 150 yards, and then he just piles into the dirt. And he gets up, flops again, did that for several times, and then just lays there. And I'm like, it's over. He's bleeding out. This is awesome. 2 good shots, it's done. And the cows kind of started trotting off, and they went up right below my buddy's house where we're hunting here, and his wife got a real nice picture, and she actually calls him up and says, hey, you need to tell Morgan to get out here. The elk are right below the house. And little did she know, when she was watching, she couldn't figure out what was chasing the cows. It just looked like a calf was following behind them out there. She's looking at us at about a mile away with a pair of binoculars, and it's me with the decoy running across the field. It's just one of those things that happens so dang fast. And so I ran up on him and got a real nice shot at 25 yards on him while he was, basically, I wanted to get another one in him, as fast as possible. Yeah. And he expired right there. It was amazing.
So, we're coming up on time a little bit, but so real quick, what was the closest you got to any of the elk at a given time?
When I took the 95-yard shot, I was 35, 40 yards away from the cows.
And
I was right in with the herd the whole time, but I had an arrow in him,
Mm-hmm.
So, I wanted, I was committed.
One of the things that Lance Hallam from Ultimate Predator always says when using the stalker decoy is to act like you don't care that they're there. You know, make it a point to just act normal as you can. You know, to mimic a deer's behavior.
It's really, really hard when you're in the middle of a 160-acre field, 60 yards away from a herd of elk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, what he says is just don't walk directly right at them, and don't stop and pause. Just kind of keep moseying along, you know. If they run, and it's same principle.
At one point in time, I guess, I missed a pretty important part of this. There was, 3 head of calves, or actually, it might have been 2. I mean, they were 20 to 40 yards away from me the whole time. After, that's what ended up, I think, getting me that second shot was because those calves were with me. I looked like another elk, and so, I was just part of the herd,
So when you were running,
I still can't believe it was happening. One of my buddies from Texas and my predator hunting partner and good hunting buddy, he just still shakes his head and says, I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it.
Did you have any cameras going?
Negative. I had hopes the whole time that he was just sitting back with his phone at least, videoing it.
Yeah.
And we did not have a camera going at all. It was a sad moment for me a little bit there.
Yeah, well, I mean, those of us that are, I guess novice in some regards, film self-filmers and whatnot. We don't have contracts depending on our footage. So when it comes down to a moment like that, though, to just for your own personal gratification, give up the kill on film for an experience like that, I think it's well worth it. So
that would have been something that we would pull out time and time again and watch.
Right.
Would have been amazing.
Well, you know what? Now you can pull up this podcast and go over it time and time again because
exactly.
it's just.
I've had to tell the story so many times.
I know.
I've got the condensed version down pretty good now. So.
That's good. So I mean, and I actually texted Lance when I saw your picture and I was like, hey, I'm going to report a podcast with this guy. He's one of the guys from G-Force. I want to hear the story. I can only imagine. What it was. I'm anxiously waiting for the Pennsylvania season to open up here at the end of the month so I can use mine because I have 2 solid setups where I'll be able to use that. I should have no issues whatsoever taking a doe in the first day or at least the first week and a nice 9-point, 120, 130 inch 9-pointer that I kind of have my eyes on this one property because the property is I'm not going to have access to. So I'm, next year I'm not going to have access. So I'm going to kind of leave my deer not my deer, but the deer on my property for my son and try to get him one and go from there. But I can't wait to use this decoy and hearing stories like yours and how you approached it, for example, it's got to help someone. Sooner or later, it's going to help somebody. And
one of my hunting buddies' wives, she called me and asked me if she could borrow it and try it out and everything. And I said, yeah, come get it. She's coming back up Thursday. We're still trying to get 2 and 3 more tags filled up here. And she's coming back up. I'm gonna let her borrow it. I hope it works out for her as well as it did for me. This bull would not have gotten put in the freezer had it not been for that decoy. That was the key ingredient to this. Combine that with the G-Force camo, I guess, and being in shape. Being able to run with elk for 3/4 of a mile makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Yeah, they got 4. You only have 2 legs. So you were working twice as hard.
Yeah, it's, I'm trying to skip and look like an elk, bobbing through the field, doing different things. I can only imagine had that been on camera, what people would think. When you just talked about skipping and bobbing, I just had a mental image and I had to laugh. It's no joke. When I tell people about it, I do the little skip and bob for them, and everybody just laughs. Man, that's outstanding. Just shake their head because if he wasn't dead and in the freezer right now, they probably wouldn't believe it. Well,
I'll tell you what, man. It is a great story. It's going to be a great learning lesson for someone. I know Lance wanted